Nic Petruolo. Can you start us off with maybe some thoughts over this past week with the win over Bentley and then traveling up to RIT?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the win over Bentley was huge. Team played super well. Controlled, I'd say, pretty obvious to say that we controlled most of the game offensively. We didn't give up many opportunities defensively. So we were feeling obviously pretty confident going into the RIT weekend. With that being said, obviously on the defensive side of the puck we weren't the strongest. I feel like right now is a time where we address what we did wrong and then move on from there and build on it. Past 2 days of practice, obviously, on the defensive side of the puck is what the coach has been stressing, and we've definitely taken steps in the right direction, which I feel is going to help us, obviously, going into a big weekend.
I want to start with Nick and Nathan. You guys are juniors. I mean, there's 9 defensemen on this squad, 4 freshmen, 2 sophomores, 3 juniors. And you and Nathan have only played this your second season because you lost the first freshman year because of COVID. How important is, this is a young defense, I mean, how important is it, with what happened at RIT, how important is to forget that game and bounce back?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a one-game thing. Obviously, every game right now is big for us pair-wise. But like you said, we do have a young D-core, and there's going to be a lot of learning coming along from that. RIT was definitely a game we learned from, as well as Bentley. And I feel that there's no matter what the outcome is of the game, there's always things that we can critique and get better at, which is one thing that our defensive coach stresses a lot.
I think we have a great group that we can bounce back with. A lot of energy from us, especially with our young guys playing such good roles and being the players that they are. I think we can turn it around really quickly. I don't think we'll look at our last game too heavily, and I think we're just going to focus on UMass then.
I mean, how important is it with guys like Nick and John playing so well? I mean, they've been recognized the last couple of weeks by ECAC with weekly awards. What have you seen in their games, and I'll ask you, Nick, I'll start with Nathan first. What have you seen in their games that you appreciate and like?
I mean, I think it's great that they can just step in and have the confidence that they've had. I think every game they've taken strides to be, our top guys and be reliable, and I think that's huge going forward, especially in such a competitive division that the ECAC is. I think they're ready to take on big teams like Cornell and Harvard and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the confidence is huge. The role that they were playing preseason, before we even started games, I think, we were put into a lot of game opportunities. We had a lot of inter-squad games, and there was no reason that they shouldn't be playing the role that they're playing right now.
You guys, how important is it to lean on these guys? This is obviously, like I said, this is only their second season playing, but having to deal with not playing that 1 year, and then these guys. How important is their leadership to help you guys out?
I think it's extremely important, and they've been nothing but helpful to any questions we've had and everything. And I think it really helped us get to where we are. And obviously, it's not where we want to be. We keep wanting to push and be better, but without them, I don't think there's any way we get Rookie of the Week. They've really helped us and take that next step from the junior leagues into Division I.
Yeah, I mean, they've been there for all the questions, kind of leading us through the way. I mean, they've done it before, so leaning on them is extremely important, going through wins like Bentley and losses like RIT, and especially going into conference play here in a couple weeks. They've seen it before, so it's important to ask the questions.
Yeah, how important is it for you guys to have that bounce back game? We'll talk about UMass in a second, but what did you learn from what happened at RIT, and how do you work on that to get ready for UMass?
I think the major key is defense will win you hockey games, and if you go big goals, you're not going to win a hockey game. And we recognize that obviously in RIT, and keeping it in a game like Bentley where you're only giving up 1 goal. Of course, it was in the last couple minutes, but still you're going to win 9 times out of 10 when you do that stuff. So,
how important is it to not have that deer in the headlights type of game? Was that the case there at RIT, where just things spiraled out of control?
No, I mean, I think we just came out a bit flat, and you know, we regrouped, we got back to it, and it's sometimes you can't really dig yourself out of a hole, but I thought we came together, we fought back really, really hard, and I think that's something that shows the character in our locker room, and I think that's something that's going to really push us forward throughout the future. So.
And Nick, you had mentioned you guys had just recognized some stuff defensively that you guys needed to fix. What were some of those things that you guys focused on either this week or just watching film that you guys needed to fix with our?
Yeah, I mean, it starts in the offensive zone. We did give up, I would say, too many odd man rushes, whether that's 3-on-2, 2-on-1s. And then obviously coming back into the zone, it's a matter of recognizing, communicating and figuring out who's got who and picking up sticks while, whether the team's driving wide, throwing the puck to the net, or, guys are taking each other one-on-one. It's a matter of, like I said, communicating and recognizing who we have, on an individual level, and taking care of that.
You guys are going to face UMass this weekend for 2 games. They're coming off, taking out the national champions Denver in 2 games. They're up to number 6 in the polls. How much of a test is this game? It's your final non-conference game before you get into conference play next weekend. What are you looking for? I mean, obviously you want to win the games, but what are you looking for as far as the game performance is concerned? You're looking to improve that defensive effort. If you take solace in the fact that you play well and you don't come up with a win, is that obviously you want to win the game? But how important is it to have your game in shape heading into league play?
Yeah, I mean, on the defensive side of things, no matter who you play, that's got to be, that has to be in tip-top shape going into any weekend. I think we're all at that level now where if we don't take care of, our own jobs on the defensive side of the puck, it's not going to end up well. In regards to the UMass and the team that we're going to play, I feel that there's a group of guys in the locker room that feel that obviously this is a big opportunity, but we head into this weekend looking at it almost as if it's another weekend. We have teams in an ECAC like Quinnipiac, like Cornell, like Harvard that have these players that are just as skilled, if not some players are even more skilled than them. So like I said, I mean, UMass obviously is a very good program. They came off a big weekend, but we're going to be seeing teams like at their level throughout the year. So I don't think it's a matter of like you said earlier, the deer in the headlights, like, oh my God, we're playing UMass. I don't think that's the case at all. I think right now the focus is the matter of taking care of what we can take care and controlling what we can control.
Yeah, like speaking off of that, I think like on another weekend type of deal, it's if we play our game and we play as a 5-man unit and we just stay dialed in with our D zone, making plays together, moving our feet, we can beat any team. Like with the guys in the locker room we have, if we can stick to our game and do what we do well, I think we should have no problem.
Yeah, it'll be a nice test for us with transitioning in our game, defensive, offensive abilities. It'll be a nice test to play a team that's hot right now, especially going into their barn. And we'll see where we stand up going into the rest of the year.
I think it's a great opportunity, especially for, like you said, we have a young group, and to go against a team a little bit older than us with a pretty good track record. We can show them what we can do, and it'll be a good test, like Johnny said. But I'm pretty excited about it.
And how important is it to not let them get the jump in these games?
I think it starts with, obviously they have a pretty good crowd that backs them up every night. I think it's, the first thing is taking the crowd out of it. And like I said, I've been stressing on is taking the crowd out of it. Focusing on what we can, taking care of what we can control and not necessarily, focusing on them.